Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. My name is James L. Walker Jr. I'm the lead counsel for Isaac Hayes and the Isaac Hayes Estate, as well as Isaac Hayes Enterprises. I want my client, Isaac Hayes III, who I'm so proud of today. No one has ever stood up to Donald Trump like this. My co-counsels, Reginald Green, and Mr. Griggs, we've stood with this man, and he and his family stood up to Donald Trump today, and I'm very proud of him. Very proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We are very grateful and happy for the decision by Judge Thrash. Donald Trump has been barred from ever playing the music of Isaac Hayes again. I couldn't ask for a better decision. I want this to serve as an opportunity for other artists to come forward that don't want their music used by Donald Trump or other political entities, and continue to fight for music, artist rights, and copyright. Any questions?
Your reaction to the judge saying that he would not ask that the videos be taken down?
That's temporary. Once we get to trial and we prove that they do not have a license, today was a preliminary injunction to stop them from using it any further. Now we'll go into an evidentiary process. My co-counsels will start discovery. You can elaborate what happens next in discovery.
So today was called the preliminary injunction, and the purpose was to stop him from any further use. The underlying case for the infringement is still proceeding forward, and we're going to take the steps necessary to ensure our client a victory.
There was a lot of conversation today just about whether or not it was accurately communicated to them to stop using the song. I think you guys tried to prove over and over that you have several times. Can you go through the steps in which you tried to get everyone's attention to stop using it, and then the subsequent use over and over?
Yeah, so this has been a 4-year process. Initially in 2022, right after the Uvalde mass shooting at the NRA convention in Houston, Donald Trump used "Hold On, I'm Coming." I made a tweet that I was not pleased with that. A cease and desist was sent at that point. Over the next 4 years, he continued to use the music. After the rally here in Atlanta, James and I had a conversation, said we really got to find a way to stop him from using the music, and this is the only means to be able to do that. He was also notified by BMI at a point 100 days ago to not play the song, but he continued to play the song multiple times after he was told not to. So that's copyright infringement, textbook copyright infringement. We are the copyright holders. A lot of artists are not often in this position to stand up for their copyrights because publishing companies typically own the rights to the music, but I always want to make sure that we are able to protect my father's legacy. My father lost the rights to his music a year before I was born. That music started to come back, so after 56 years, the last thing that we were going to do is sell our copyright, and we're going to defend and continue to gather more Isaac Hayes copyrights.
You know the former president loves watching television, so he may be watching, he may see you. Mm-hmm. What message would you like to send to the former president if he's watching about this music, about your father's legacy?
The message to the former president?
Yeah, it's made very clear. Don't play Isaac Hayes music songs anymore.
Mr. Hayes, one of the things mentioned in court today was basically that your father isn't here to speak for himself.
Yeah.
To say whether or not he wants that song played.
Right.
How did you react to hearing that, and what do you think your father would say?
That's fine. Copyright law states that after 56 years of publication, the rights of those songs either return to the author or the heirs, which is our family. They've returned to our family. We have a right to defend and protect our copyright, and we did. Other than that, I've never wanted this song to be associated with Donald Trump in the manner that he was using it, because it was something that he used repeatedly, more than any other song at his rallies. He's been playing this song for 4 years almost, over and over again at rallies. As I've said before, my sisters are behind me. My father was a father to 7 daughters. I have 7 sisters. Donald Trump has been found liable of sexual abuse. I know my father would not want that man playing his music. Man's been found liable of sexual abuse, and some of the things that he says about women, especially black women and women of color, especially in this election. And so we have to take a stand that we want to separate ourselves from someone with Donald Trump's character. This is not a political issue. This is a character issue. That's been made very clear today.
And I want to say something. Hold on a second. I want to say something to the brother who asked about the former president. If you heard the judge clearly, the judge said you need a license. And that's a very, very telling statement, because there are 51, 52 plus illegal uses that do not have a license. So for a judge this morning to say that Donald Trump and Team Trump and some of the other defendants who've now capitulated and said they will get us documents or they will work it out, they will pull things down, it's a very important point that the judge said you need a license under Title 17. They argued fair use, they argued political speech, they argued a bunch of things. I think their theory was we're going to just throw something out there and hope something sticks up against the wall. And it's the tactic lawyers use, where you throw something out and hope something sticks with the judge to help you get a victory. This judge, who I applaud, understood intellectual property. He understood Title 17. He understood copyright law. And by him understanding everything, he was able to tell Team Trump, you don't have a license. You don't have a license. So don't use his music anymore, period. Now that gets into us moving this case ahead. As Attorney Green and Attorney Griggs know, we'll move this case ahead now and start with discovery, depositions, and a lot of other things to basically make them pay. And the damages are in the millions. The damages are in the millions when you talk about this many willful copyright infringing songs and videos.
But if the drug company were to go to BMI and get the license that the judge suggested they needed to make, do you still have any authority to tell police not use this?
No, it's after that license has been terminated by BMI, there's any opportunity to return to use the song. And that was told to him over 100 days ago, and he continued to use the song. So there's no coming back from using the song.
And how do you respond to the suggestion in court today that this is all politically motivated on your part?
That's totally not politically motivated.
I've been doing these cases for almost 30 years. We've gotten probably 250 plus artists out of bad contracts in situations like this. This is what we do. I saw him post something on August 3rd, and I called him from Chicago and said, do you want us to handle this? And he said, please step in. So from August 3rd to September 3rd, he has shut Donald Trump down. He and the team of lawyers, Ava, Liz Gardner sitting back here quietly, our copyright administrator, Gina Ryan, there's a whole team of people. Paul Wilson, one of my summer associates who couldn't be here, really did a heat of work, a whole lot of work here, large amount of work, and our Howard Law students also stepped in. So I want to make sure we recognize a body of people who worked nonstop for 30 days to get a preliminary injunction on Donald Trump. That is an unheard of order by a court. It's one of the highest and hardest things you can get a court to award you. But this man got it.
In the beginning, you wanted to play a video, one piece of evidence.
Correct.
The opening was powerful. Are you disappointed that the judge didn't allow you to play the entire video?
You said in the elevator, he played it through?
Yeah, he played it exactly where I wanted him to know that Isaac Hayes was a songwriter and had written amazing records like Hold On, I'm Coming and Soul Man for artists like Sam and Dave. And he established himself as a writer. So for people to think that nobody knows that Isaac Hayes wrote Hold On, I'm Coming, that's just simply not true. He was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame along with David Porter in 2005. So very many people that know, and more importantly, the people that we do business with that could affect Donald Trump using our music know who Isaac Hayes is and who the writer of that song is.
Any sort of timeline for you guys on the rest of these proceedings?
Griggs, you want to take that one? Discovery and where we're going to go?
So again, we have to go through discovery, we have to go through the litigation process, and so it's a process. We're looking at months. But I think the message was clear here from the court that you have to follow the law. And I think in Georgia, it's repeatedly been said that nobody's above the law. They're not above copyright law, they're not above any law. And so I think a message was sent today because Mr. Hayes and his family stood up for the rights and legacy of his father, and a message was sent from a federal judge.
That's right.
You must stop using these works without a license. That is a powerful and profound statement from a federal judge. So we rebut the fact that there's an election coming. This is about the law mattering. And Mr. Hayes is a champion of rights. He's shown that today by being one of the first to actually have Donald Trump enjoined, ordered to stop doing something. And so that's historic. We're honored to work with him and these lawyers as we will continue in the process, but it'll take months.
Isaac, can you talk about, for those who don't know, what the significance of that song is? What does it mean? What does it mean to America? What does it mean in music? What does it mean to your family? And why would Donald Trump want to use that specific song?
I mean, I don't care about why he wanted to use it. I know that my father was, one of the pillars of Stax as a songwriter before he became an artist. He wrote songs that were the soundtrack of the 60s and the civil rights movement. Hold On, I'm Coming and Soul Man, those records were part of that, and that's extremely important. That song is one of the gems of our catalog, and it's licensed, plenty of times every year. And that was the point about this injunction, is the fact that I don't want that song politicized in any way, because it's not about politics, but it's also about the character of the person that's using the song. And so let the song speak for itself. We don't need Donald Trump's help to highlight a song that is as classic and powerful as Hold On, I'm Coming.
And the judge also said that you couldn't prove that you were being harmed by future brands, so he wanted to use that song. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, let me answer that. He said we couldn't prove that it was irreparable and imminent. He didn't say we couldn't prove it down the line at trial. He was saying, is it something today? Okay. And obviously they're still licensing the music, so I think the judge's position was, hey, I know you're hurt, but you're still making money, you're still licensing the song. And we respect that. You know, we could go back and forth, but we understand the judge was trying to be fair and balanced. Right. And Attorney Green pointed out some things, you know, about the decision being fair.
Right, and the way it works is that today was to stop Donald Trump from unauthorized use of the song and to protect our right to go forward to be compensated for the use that's already been done. So at the end of the day, it's a victory across the board.
Are there any brands out there who actually use the song that you allowed to use it?
Yeah, I mean, the song gets licensed dozens of times a year. So it's I couldn't tell you, but enormous, you know, very powerful brands. These are always, even when we talk about the penalty for copyright infringement is $150,000. We get licenses that exceed that, sometimes double, triple that for this song. And so I want to continue to be able to do that. This is something I always say all the time, that my father lost the rights to his music. So the ability for him to actually benefit off his works was something that he never got to do. But we have a family here that never really got the opportunity to do that. We are his heirs. We have the right to continue to defend his copyright and benefit off it. And we are proud of our father's legacy, that he left a legacy that's so lasting even beyond his life and is part of Black American culture and American culture itself. So, you know, I'm not worried about, you know, Trump using that song or any, you know, adding any value to that.
Any other questions? Well, we thank you all for coming out. We thank the people watching at home for supporting Isaac Hayes and the family of Isaac Hayes. And I thank all my staff that are here, some in the office. I think everybody, this is just the beginning. We still have a lot of work to do. We have to go through all of these uses and show where there is no license. And I want to point out, when you put a video up and someone downloads it, now we feel that's another form of infringement. Just as if you download back in the day something on a CD or DVD, we want to go through thoroughly all of these uses and figure out where the video went from Donald Trump posting it to the internet, you know, circus of people downloading it, and hold him accountable for all of it as willful copyright infringement. So we thank Judge Thrash for granting our motion, and we thank all of the people who worked here and all of you who kept this story alive. It's very important. I want Mr. Griggs to talk about just artists and their interests and the rights of artists.
Actually, I want to say that myself.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I want other artists to come forward that don't want their music politicized. I know it's something that is standard done by these PROs, BMI, ASCAP, but if you don't want your music used by someone like Donald Trump, contact your performing rights organization. Tell them directly that you do not want Donald Trump using your music, and they will remove your work from his ability to do so, which is what we have done, and then we've taken that step further to bar him from ever playing that song again. So I hope all the other artists that out there that have been in the news lately that have had an issue with him playing their music take this next step to bar him from using their music.
As we wrap up, we got to get back to our black jobs. We thank all of you, but I got another hearing tomorrow, so I got to get to our black job.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.